So first question of this section A is the RNA triplet UAG acts as a stop codon which terminates the synthesis of a polypeptide. Below is given a strand of DNA which codes for 4 amino acids. In which position will an insertion of thymine nucleotide result in the termination of translation? It means we require here this type of triplet in the RNA strand, but this is DNA strand. DNA strand, UAG, for UAG you require thymine and uracil, adenine, and this ATC sequence is required in the template strand. ATC C यहाँ पर इस ऑप्शन में आप देखोगे यहाँ इंट्रोड्यूस हो रहा है तो आएगी सीक्वेंस TAC, इधर आएगी ATC, ये हो सकता है आंसर, यहाँ आ जाएगा CTG और यहाँ आ जाएगा ATT. सो सेकेंड ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट बिकॉज 3 प्राइम टू 5 प्राइम ये टेम्पलेट स्ट्रेट होगा और ATC यहाँ पर आएगा तो ATC यानी कि सेकेंड ऑप्शन करेक्ट होगा. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 2. Which of the following conditions correctly describes the manner of determining the sex in the given options? Homozygous sex chromosomes ZZ determines female sex in birds. Homozygous will not determine, ZW will determine. Exotype of chromosome determine male sex in grasshoppers, it is correct, 17 and 18. 17 chromosomes in males and 18 chromosomes in females. And exo condition in humans में exo condition होती नहीं है. Homozygous sex chromosome X6 produce males XY condition. Okay, so B option is correct for question number 2. Question number 3. Which one of the following is not the product of transgenic experiments? Pest resistant, high nutritional value in grains, and drought resistant crops. These are result of transgenic experiment, whereas this production of insulin by rDNA technique, as it is given already here, recombinant DNA technology. So the answer of this is D option. And now next question number 4. Penetration of the sperm in the ovum is followed by formation of first polar body, no, second polar body will be correct answer. Completion of second meiotic, yes, this is correct. Second meiotic division start हो जाता है. First meiosis तो बहुत पहले हो जाता है. Dissolution of zona pellucida के बाद ही penetration of the sperm होता है. तो completion of meiosis 2. Question number 5. India has only 2.4% of the world's land area, but its share of the global species diversity is 8.1%. Question number 6. Out of the following, select the correct match. Transgenic cow milk, human beta, lactalbumin protein, beta is given wrong here, and the answer of this is alpha lactalbumin. Then ELISA, antigen antibody interaction correct है. Corn borer cry2, cry1 होता है. Cotton plant meladogene incognitia wrong है, यहाँ tobacco plant आएगा. So this is B option. In a certain population, the frequency of 3 genotypes is as follows. Genotypes capital P, capital P, capital P, small p, small p, small p, p square is given, 2pq is given, and q square is given in this question. Frequencies are 22%, 62%, 16%, that is 22 people out of 100 are homozygous, 62 people out of 100 are heterozygous, and 16 people out of 100 they are homozygous but recessive. Now you are supposed to find out the value of capital P and small p. Capital P, as we can say that 22 out of 100, that is 22 plus 62%, so half capital P small p. 22 plus half 62 capital P small p 62. 22 plus 31 is equal to 53%. And the value of small p will be 16 plus half capital P small p. 16 plus 62 divided by 2, that is 31. 16 plus 31 is equal to 47%. So this option is correct, 47%. Number 8. Study the items of column 1 and 2 where drugs and their effects are given and match them correctly. Heroin, it slows down the body function. Marijuana affects cardiovascular system. Cocaine interferes with the transport of dopamine, and morphine is given as painkiller. So A second, B first, C fourth, and D third. C is the correct answer. Excuse me. Choose the option that correctly describes the gynoecium of Michelia, multicarpellary and apocarpus. Multicarpellary and apocarpus is the answer. Next is question number 10th. Read the passage given below and answer the following. Food chains P and Q form an interconnection. P initiates with wheatgrass, whose population supports a few grasshoppers, frogs and snakes. C. Few grasshoppers, frogs and snakes, so it should be grazing food chain. Q starts with the dead decaying leaves of wheatgrass which are eaten by earthworms, so detritus food chain. Identify the types of food chains P and Q. P, grazing food chain, detritus food chain. Very simple question. Identify the incorrect statement regarding PCR. 2 sets of primers are required during polymerization. Correct. The process of replication is repeated multiple times to produce 1 million copies. This is also correct. Thermostable DNA polymerase is used for extension of primers. This is also correct. And annealing is required to separate both the strands. This is wrong. Denaturation is required. Very high temperature is required. Next, the following information is about drugs and tobacco. Select the correct statement from the options given below. Cocaine is given to patients after surgery as it stimulates recovery. Chewing tobacco lowers blood pressure and heart rate. Barbiturates, when given to criminals, make them tell the truth. And morphine is often given to persons who have undergone surgery as a painkiller. So, the correct statement is option D for question number 12. After this, we are having assertion and reason type questions. Question number 13. A male individual always inherits hemophilia from its mother. A male individual always inherits hemophilia from his mother. That is male individual and वो भी hemophilic. तो genotype होगा XHY and male receives its X chromosome from the mother. The gene for hemophilia lies on X chromosome. It is already shown here, hemophilia gene. So assertion and reason both are correct and reason explains the assertion. Assertion of question number 14 is biotechnology produce transgenic microorganisms that function as microfactories for proteins. Yes. And transgenic microorganisms can be developed to produce proteins of human use like insulin. This is also correct because insulin is obtained from E. coli and Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that is yeast. So So this is also A. A piece of DNA inserted into an alien organism generally does not replicate if not inserted into a chromosome, and reason is chromosomes have a specific sequence called origin where DNA replication is initiated. So both of these are also correct, and the reason explains the assertion. This is correct, this is correct, answer is A. Swiss cheese is characterized by large holes due to CO2 production, correct. Reason, it is ripened by growing a specific fungi, not fungi, bacterium. Which bacterium? Propionibacterium. Sherman. So section A is over. Section B. How is DNA isolated in purified form from bacterial cell? Bacterial cell and isolation of DNA. Enzymes, lysozyme, proteases, and ribonucleases are used to extract materials like protein, RNA, and the cell wall of bacteria from the DNA, and then it is isolated with the help of chilled ethanol. Explain how human functional insulin was produced by using recombinant DNA or rDNA technology. For human insulin, bacteria was made recombinant by using genes of human insulin. Two different chains were produced, A chain, A polypeptide chain and B polypeptide chain. Then they were isolated from the bacterial cell and then they were joined by the disulfide bonds. So this is the procedure. A few stages and their respective time period in the evolutionary history of human beings are mentioned in the flowchart given below. 15 million years ago, primates walking like gorillas and chimpanzees existed. So इसके लिए question है यहाँ पर, name one primate about 15 million years ago. One primate about 15 million years ago, that is Ramapithecus. So answer Ramapithecus. Question part A. Then name one place where fossils of primates were discovered in Eastern Africa, Tanzania. Then see, the ancestor lived in the East African grasslands and ate fruits, that is Australopithecus. And यहाँ Homo erectus will be answer. कैसे? The hominid is asked. This hominid had a brain size of 900 cc and probably ate meat. So answer इसका होगा Homo erectus. Karyotype of a human suffering from a certain disorder is given below. ये karyotype. Then first से और 22nd तक स्ट्रक्चर जो है सबका बिल्कुल ठीक है. फर्स्ट, सेकेंड, थर्ड एंड अप टू 22nd पेयर यहाँ तक ठीक है, लेकिन ये 23rd पेयर जो है इसमें ये एडिशनल कॉपी ऑफ एक्स क्रोमोसोम आ गई. और वैसे ये क्या है, ये मेल है, XY. आइडेंटिफाई द डिसऑर्डर, दैट इज क्लीनेफेल्टर सिंड्रोम. क्लीनेफेल्टर गिव रीजन, राइट द सिम्टम्स ऑफ दिस डिसऑर्डर। तो सिम्टम्स क्या है? गायनिकोमेस्टिया, reduced fertility, only one symptom is to be given because it carries only half mass, and give reason for such a disorder. So reason क्या है? That non-disjunction of chromosome during gamete formation or during meiosis. तो हम क्या बोल सकते हैं? Meiotic non-disjunction. Next question. Ravi lives. Next question है, Ravi lives in a village where he suggested to the local farmers to introduce a fungus as biofertilizers into their crop fields and state the benefits provided by the fungus to the crop. तो फंगस क्या कर सकती है प्लांट्स के लिए? पहला तो उनको सॉइल का टेक्सचर जो है, जिस सॉइल में फंगस को डालेंगे उसका टेक्सचर इंप्रूव हो जाएगा. सॉइल टेक्सचर विल बी इम्प्रूव्ड. हाँ, अगर तो क्रॉप की बात करें तो क्रॉप के लिए क्या हो जाएगा? क्रॉप डिजीज फ्री. बायो फर्टिलाइजर है एंड फर्टिलाइजर है तो एनहेंस्ड अपटेक ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स फ्रॉम द सॉइल. ये ज्यादा बेटर आंसर होगा. अपटेक ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स एंड वाटर एज वेल. वाटर. प्लांट्स विल बी हेल्दी, डिजीज फ्री मैंने ऑलरेडी बोल दिया. और क्रॉप यील्ड विल बी improved. Yield will be better. ये आ जाएगा इसका आंसर. How do secondary lymphoid organs provide immunity? Secondary lymphoid organs like spleen, like lymph nodes, what do? They actually trap the pathogen, and in these organs there is interaction of pathogen with immune cells and what happens? The immune cells in the form of the lymphocytes, they destroy pathogen. Highlight the role of spleen as an organ that provides immunity. Spleen is also called graveyard of RBC. RBC का कहते हैं, लेकिन आप इसमें यहाँ पर लिखना है आपको आंसर that provides immunity. तो you will write filters the blood and boost immune system by proliferation and differentiation of immune cells. A fully developed fetus initiates its delivery from the mother's womb. Explain. Answer. 2 marks का क्वेश्चन है. 4 points आपको देने हैं. Neuroendocrine mechanism. Second, the fetus sends signal to brain and mild contractions of uterine muscles take place. देन थर्ड पॉइंट आप क्या लोगे, रिलीज ऑफ ऑक्सीटोसिन, एंड फोर्थ इज स्ट्रॉन्गर contraction of uterine muscles results in expulsion of baby. Give reason for the following. Why can a woman generally not conceive a child after 50 years of age? The answer is because of menopause. The ovaries stop releasing progesterone and estrogen, and no more ova are available for fertilization. Polar bodies are formed during oogenesis and not during spermatogenesis. Answer is unequal division give rise to large secondary oocyte, or you can say later on oocyte, and smaller polar bodies in both of the divisions, first meiotic division and second meiotic division. Large, it means having dense cytoplasm with the nutrients, because secondary oocyte is responsible for the fertilization. Okay, next question है 22nd. A functional ADA gene is introduced. In the patient. Is it a permanent cure? Yes, it may be permanent if the genetically modified lymphocytes are introduced periodically. Or another method is number 2. In the embryonic stage, gene therapy is provided. In the type of food chains responsible for the flow of larger fraction of energy in an aquatic ecosystem. Construct and label a transcription unit from which the RNA segment given below has been transcribed. Write the complete name of the enzyme that transcribes this RNA. So name of the enzyme is RNA polymerase. And for construction of a transcription unit, see, this is 5' to 3', and transcription unit is a part of DNA. 5' to 3'. This is promoter, this is terminator, this is a structural gene. So first we will write the bases which are given in the coding string. Coding string में A, T, G and C, A, T, then G, C, A and A, G, C. Instead of U, I have written T everywhere. Okay, so this will be also T. T. AUG, that is ATG, CAU, CAT, GCA, GCA, UGC, AGC, sorry, TGC. Now, its complementary strand. A, T, T, A, for G, C will come here, for C, G, for A, T, for T, A, for G, C, G, and T here, A, C, and G. And the polarity of this will be 3' to 5'. This will be template strand and this will be coding strand. So a structural unit consists of two strands, template strand and coding strand, and that portion of the DNA strand which is transcribed is called transcription, is called structural gene, and this entire structure is called a transcription unit. A person is suffering from high-grade fever, which symptoms will help to identify if he or she is suffering from typhoid, pneumonia or malaria. It means high-grade fever. Along with this, other symptoms are to be considered. See, in case of typhoid, there may be constipation, headache, loss of appetite, stomachache, and in case of pneumonia, there may be cough and nails and fingers turn blue. And in case of malaria, what happens? For malaria, the symptoms are chill and high fever, recur every 3 to 4 days. The following question is based on pollination. Study the figures carefully and answer the questions that follow. Figure A and figure B. These are two flowers of the same plant. So, gytonogamy is shown here, and here autogamy. Two conditions necessary for the process occurring in figure B, autogamy. Two conditions. Number one, anther and stigma should mature at same time and they must be receptive. Or you can say there should be a synchronization between anther and stigma. And another condition is that anther and stigma should be close to each other, because their position facilitates the process of pollination. Should be close to each other. There should be no barrier between anther and stigma. State one advantage and one disadvantage of the process occurring in figure B. Advantage, only one is required. You can write no dependence on pollinators. And you can also write that very less wastage of pollen grains. And disadvantage will be no genetic variation, because same genes are inherited in the next generation. As well as you can also write loss of vigor. Loss of vigor is observed in the plant after generation to generation self-pollination. It means the biological strength and the physical strength of the plant becomes lower. Below and answer the questions that follow. As you can see, this is the diagram of sewage treatment plant. So, answer of A part is identify the figure and state its importance. So, this is the figure of sewage treatment plant or wastewater treatment plant. Significance of this is it is used to treat sewage before releasing into water bodies. Okay, to make the water less polluted. Less polluted. So this is the answer of question number 5. Diffused into the aerator tank. Explain. The air is diffused into the aerator tank to provide oxygen to aerobic bacteria so that they grow and digest organic matter present in the sewage. Organic matter present in sewage or wastewater. Next is, what changes take place in the settlement? Name one plant wherein some flowers only. The process in figure B takes place and give the reason responsible for it. Examples, oxalis can be given or viola. And the reason, presence of cleistogamous flowers. Cleistogamous flowers are those which never bloom, and in them there is assured self-pollination. Self-pollination which give rise to assured seed set. Okay. Next is settling tank. Changes take place in settling tank are that in the settling tank what happens? The digested organic matter and flocks, that is combination of bacteria and fungal hyphae. Flocks settle down or sedimented, and a small portion of this sediment is returned to aerator tank. How is BOD related to organic matter present in the water? More organic matter in the water, more BOD. That is more polluted water. Though this is not required, you can get marks only on these 2 points. And similarly, less organic matter, less BOD. Section E, how does alien species invasion cause a decline in biodiversity? And explain all these and why have certain. Okay, this is the question of 5 marks, and 5 marks will be divided in such a way that you are supposed to give 3 points here in part A. Number 1, alien species invasion lead to extinction of native species. Second, alteration of habitats. Alteration of habitats. Third, direct competition. Direct competition for resources with native species. So this way you will get 1.5 marks with native species. How have the following contributed to biodiversity loss? Nile perch introduced in Lake Victoria pose threat to cichlid fish. Lantana necornia pose threat to native species. Native species, whether they are plant species or the animal species. Clarius garipinus pose threat to native catfish. Why have certain regions have been declared as biodiversity hotspots by environmentalists of the world, and nearly two such regions in India, that is Western Ghats and Northern Himalayas. After this, hotspots by environmentalists. So 1.5 marks here, 1.5 marks here, 3 marks, and 1 mark for these 2 points, 4 marks, and 1 mark will be given for this reason. Number 1, high level of species richness. And number 2, endemism. That is, unique species are found in these hotspots, unique species, and they are not found anywhere else. Nowhere else. So this way, first question of section E is done. No, second part is also left. Second part, B. Write an equation for Verhelst per logistic growth curve where n is equal to population density at time t, r is equal to intrinsic rate of natural increase. 1 mark for this equation. dn upon dt is equal to rn k minus n upon k, where k is the carrying capacity. This one. Second part, draw a graph for a population whose population density has reached carrying capacity. So for this we will draw this logistic growth curve, and that will be like this. Time on x-axis and population density on y. And what is this? This is the carrying capacity K. Draw a growth curve where resources are non-limiting to growth of population. For this, the diagram or the graph will be like this, J-shaped, and it is called exponential growth curve. This side time and this side same population density. Third question is done. Which growth curve is considered more realistic? That is S-shaped logistic growth curve. Why? Because the resources are not going to be unlimited anytime. As the population increases, it eventually reaches a maximum size beyond which the environment cannot support the population growth. Means if the pollen is of same species, then it is right type and compatible with stigma. Compatible with stigma. Whereas wrong means it is not of same species and it is of different species and incompatible with stigma. A two-celled right type pollen has landed on the stigma. Explain the events taking place till fertilization in angiosperms. Two-celled. Two-celled means there is a germ cell and vegetative cell, and this type of pollen has landed on the stigma. Now, if it is of right type already given, then what will happen? The stigma will receive and will allow the pollen to develop pollen grain. So, what will happen? Pollen tube will be developed and there will be a mitotic division in this two-celled pollen. This will give result to formation of two male gametes. Okay, and at the bottom of the pistil, what is there? Embryo sac or the female gametophyte. Embryo sac. At this end, there are two synergids and this is egg cell. Then there are two polar nuclei and three synergids. Now, because pollen is of right type and two male gametes are formed, and these two male gametes will be transported towards the egg cell, and first this pollen tube will enter towards the synergid, but this synergid will guide the pollen tube to enter towards the egg cell. So what will happen? The pollen tube will enter the egg cell. Now the first male gamete will fuse with the two polar nuclei in the center cell, large central cell. These are two polar nuclei. And another male gamete will fuse with the egg cell. Polar nuclei and one male gamete will fuse and what will happen? There will be formation of endosperm. And zygote will be formed with the help of fusion of one of the male gamete and the egg cell. So, this much is to be given. Why is pollen pistil interaction said to be dynamic? There is continuous dialogue between pollen and pistil. Next, the schematic representation of oogenesis in human female indicating chromosome number at each step. Oogenesis starts in human female at the stage of oogonia during embryonic phase. Oogonia multiply and make primary follicle. Then these primary follicles are transformed into secondary oocyte. Primary follicles, they undergo first meiotic division, and this first meiotic division is arrested in the embryonic stage at diploid phase. So primary follicle 2x, oogonia 2x, chromosome number 46, 46, and at the time of puberty, what happens? Secondary oocyte and one polar body is formed. How many chromosomes? 23, 23. Then at the time of fertilization, secondary oocyte gets converted into the oocyte or ovum, and one polar body. Chromosome number 23 is semi 23. So this way, schematic representation of oogenesis in human indicating chromosome. This question will be of 3 marks, and for 3 marks you are supposed to give 6 terms like oogonia, primary follicle, secondary oocyte and oocyte. These are 4, and you are supposed to give the chromosome numbers in each one of them. Formation of corpus luteum takes place in ovary. Maturation of tertiary follicle in ovary. Fertilization in fallopian tube, ampulla region. Implantation in the uterus, endometrium lining. So 2 plus 3 is equal to 5 marks. Question number 33. Write the features a molecule should have to act as a genetic material. In the light of the above features, evaluate and justify the suitability of the molecule that is preferred as an ideal genetic material. So first you will write the features. Features. The genetic material should be, number 1, chemically and structurally stable. Second, it should be able to self-expression, and able to replicate, and it should show mutation as well. Out of DNA and RNA as a genetic material, DNA is better or ideal genetic material because in DNA, chemical and structurally stable for this double helical structure, presence of thymine base, and absence of 2' OH group is responsible to make the DNA chemically and structurally stable. For self-expression, as you know, that DNA is transcribed into RNA, and then RNA is translated to protein, and this way all information which is stored in DNA is expressed in the form of proteins. And replication and replication, you know, the DNA is able to replicate, though it is semi-conservative replication. Semi-conservative and accurate replication takes place in DNA. Mutation, DNA is able to mutate as well to evolve and adapt in as well to evolve and adapt in accordance of differentiate between the following polygenic inheritance and pleiotropy. Polygenic inheritance, as the name indicates, multiple genes influence the expression of a single trait. Example, human skin and height. Pleiotropy, a single gene influence the appearance of many traits. Many traits. Example, phenylketonuria. In phenylketonuria, different traits are appeared like skin pigmentation, hair loss, and mental retardation. And the last question of this set, dominance, codominance and incomplete dominance. For dominance, out of two alleles, of a gene, one allele is able to express itself. Whereas another is called recessive. And which one is able to express itself? It is dominant. For example, blood group A. In heterozygous condition, IA, I0 will give rise to blood group A. This is able to express itself. This is not able to express itself. So this one is an example of dominance or complete dominance. Codominance, out of two alleles, both are able to express themselves. Example, AB blood group, IA, IB, and both alleles, they are responsible for AB blood group. Incomplete dominance, when both alleles appear as a blended or intermediate form. Example, snapdragon plant, capital R is for red flower, small r is for white, and in the heterozygous condition, capital R, small r give rise to pink color of the flower. So this is all about the set 3. If you like the video, please subscribe my channel, and I am going to upload many more videos for class 12th NEET and CUET. Thanks for watching.